All right, blessings and welcome. I'm just looking to see who's here. Wow. Mignon, you're Mukti, you're in the darkness there, honey. She's like, yeah, I'm ready to go into the water. All right. And Carolyn, I saw her here for a moment. I'm pretty sure. Oh, there you are. Yeah, blessings, blessings. So thank you for your patience, everyone. I'd like to begin with the great bowl, the great bowl. So I invite everyone to close their eyes and just connect your awareness with your breath. So we're going to invite the great bowl to bring us into the present moment and allow anything that was flowing before this moment to dissolve and flow back to Mother Earth. I give thanks for this day. I give thanks for the sacred breath of life. I give thanks for the divine spark of infinity that lives in each of our hearts. I give thanks for the earth that fleshes our bones. I give thanks for the sacred waters that flow in our veins. And I give thanks to the great mystery who holds our hand and walks beside us. We presence ourselves in this transitional time where we're moving from the sleepy, dreamy state of winter, starting to bud and burst, the seeds starting to flower, of spring, the springtime not only of this year, but the springtime of our new world that we're creating together. To quote Oracle Girl or Jacqueline Hobbs Fay, the new embodied human is a force of nature combined with the power of dreaming. The new embodied human is a force of nature, partnered with nature, combined with the power of dreaming. And so as water bodies, we're here to imaginate with the wisdom of our inner waters. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that what we are going to participate in this afternoon, this evening, is an evolving process. And although I may have received the original seeds, there have been key people along the way who had pieces that I required that became integrated. And that process continues. So we are co-participants here and co-explorers in and with the waters of our own bodies, connected by the waters that connect us all. So I'd like to acknowledge Nicole Mion and Holly Bright, Hilary Van Welter, Maya Shaw Gale, Melissa Jane, Karen Jordan. These and many more names of people are those who are offering the wisdom that they receive during their experience that then becomes part of the process that we experience. So I'd like to begin by having and what I'm calling an inclusion ceremony. And in this ceremony, we're going to be presencing ourself as a water body. And then I'm going to invite you also to bring in a body of water or more than one body of water that you are heart bonded with and that you would like to hold space for you in the water field while you go on your journey inside. So I'll model the process. So I'm simply going to say my name, the territory of the land where I'm on, the name of the watershed, if you know it, and then I invite you to welcome in the bodies of water that you would like to hold space for you for your very personal journey. So my name is Danielea Castelle, and I come to you from the ancestral lands of the Lheidli people in northern British Columbia, Canada. My rivershed is the Fraser Rivershed. His name, Fraser's name in Lheidli is Ishtako. And I welcome in and I call in my brother Ishtako. Thank you for bringing your medicine of the salmon, your nurturing, your love, to hold space for me and for us while we journey together. I also call in Lady Nechako, who flows into Ishtako. And she carries the medicine of the ancient sturgeon, these ancient prehistoric beings who live in her river. So I bring that medicine of the ancientness. And I also call forth the great Mother Ocean. Thank you for holding us in the bowl of the past, the present, and the future. Welcome to each of you. I pass to Dana.
Aloha. I'm coming to you from Haiku in Maui, Hawaii. Just outside my door is the Pacific Ocean, and the bay is called Uaoa Bay. It's a beautiful sacred bay with an island, a small island of the Ali'i, the chiefs. So that is just what is right here with me at the moment. Like literally, I can see it. And I'd also like to bring in the sacred bays to me on the Big Island, which are Kealakekua Bay, Honaunau Bay, and Ho'okena. Should I ask someone else about Kara?
Hi, I'm coming from France. There's a little stream by my house when I go for a walk that I like to sing by, and so I just invite that sacred stream to hold me in this. And I call on Minyo or Mignon.
Hello everyone, I'm Mukti Mignon and I'm in Australia where we're flooding at the moment. This land is for the original people, the Dharawal Wadi Wadi people, and I call on the beautiful Pacific Ocean that surrounds everywhere I look around here and everywhere I go. Particularly a particular place that I like to go and do ceremony is Winuna. And I also connect with the rains that are falling very heavily today and washing away people's homes, and just connect with love to the rains.
Hi, I'm Caroline. Before I respond, I would love to know what the recording is being used for. Am I being heard?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I didn't check with people, so I apologize about that. Um, this will not be used for anything outside of my private usage.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you for checking. Yes, yeah, that's why we're not live streaming either. The other events from the other rooms are live streaming, but thank you for asking.
Yeah, thanks for answering that. That's great. So I'm Caroline. I'm together here with my love, and we're in Amsterdam. So we're probably below sea level actually. And it's been very like water cold today, so the water is really in the air. Yeah, I have here water with me from the Holy Maria source from next to the Amstel River, or close by here, and we're like literally sitting next to the Amstel River right now. So yeah, the whole water body in and around Holland is the water body that I asked to hold space for me. Yeah.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Oh, shall I dip in a moment? Oh, moet ik lossen. I'm an environmental engineer, and I've studied water since a long time. And the way that I like to work with water is by comprehending its pure principle, the same as the one of creation, gravity, awareness. And I use this pure principle to form the foundation of the products that I manifest in this world, which are proper drinks that you can ingest, which is based on fractal implosion. And what I wish for is to be guided and successful in providing brothers and sisters with actual revived nutritional water. This is part of my path in life. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the water doing what it is doing.
Bless you. Thank you, brother. I'm going to invite you. What we're doing here is we're going to go inside the waters of our own bodies. And so I invite you, what body of water would you bring in to hold space for you while you're going to journey inside the waters of your own body? What body of water do you love so much you feel heart connection with?
Well, basically, since I and my family, my ancestors come from the smallest big city in the world, Amsterdam, and we're right next to the Amstel River, which is giving the name to Amsterdam. It's the sort of the obvious body of water that I'd like to give thanks and connect to.
Thank you. We'll bring in the Amstel to hold space for you while you journey. Thank you. And just to be clear with anyone, it could be a childhood body of water, right? That it's anyone you have a heart bond with. If you have a heart bond, the water field will rise from that bond. So thank you very much. And will you please pass to someone else who hasn't spoken yet?
Oh, sorry, I already muted us. Let's see who hasn't spoken yet. Roisin?
Thank you. It's Roisin.
Roisin, sorry.
It's okay.
Beautiful, beautiful name. Thanks.
So it's an Irish name, and I am speaking to you from the townland of Cahors in Wexford in Leinster in Ireland. And this is part of the water body, a photograph of our local harbour, which I swim a lot in. So this is the Irish Sea, but I would connect with it at Cahors Harbour and at the Old Beach Oldbourne Beach, and it is the Irish Sea, which is connected to all of the seas. And often when I'm in that body of water, I think about that connection a lot. And the other water body I want to bring in is that my childhood love and my current love of rainwater. So puddles, and how they come, how rainwater, and is it Mignon was talking about how wet it was. Well, in Ireland it's wet like that all the time. So except when this photograph was taken. So there was something about, when I was thinking about your invitation, Danielea, I thought about the rain that falls on our land and gathers in puddles and in grikes and in water butts, so that we can water the garden when it's dry, if it's ever dry. And so I thought about that as precipitation, but my particular love would be puddles, and as it flows off the land. So I'm going to call on Pamela.
Hi, I'm Pamela. I'm in Ottawa in Canada, on the land of the Algonquin people, whose land is the Ottawa River watershed. So we're on the Ottawa River. So I'll bring in the Ottawa River, and in particular, there's a sacred site just a kilometer upstream from Parliament Hill that we were attempting to save from a condo development, but that did not succeed. Anyway, we're still trying to figure out what to do, how to document the process that happened. And so I'm bringing in the Ottawa River, and I have the Ottawa River here in a bottle. It's tap water that's been prayed and various processes to make it drinkable. I pass to Helen.
Just before Helen, just a second, Helen, I'm just going to invite us to take a few breaths. I've been involved with Pamela. I've been aware of what's been going on with Chaudière Falls, and I can really feel, let's just take a moment. Let's just breathe into, it's a very, very sacred place, sacred site, and all to the indigenous people, to the local people. Thank you. I can really feel the grief and the water around this. Having worked so hard and to not be successful. Thank you. Thank you.
I guess I'll say one more thing. There's been a lot of people working on raising the energy of the falls, and I'm told that now it's vibrating at the frequency of truth and justice.
Thank you. We'll hold that. We'll hold that frequency in our hearts and in our heart minds. Thank you. Helen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Helen Stiles, and I live in Prince George on the territory, ancestral lands of the Lheidli people. And I would like to call in the Quesnel River, which is just south of here. The Quesnel watershed. The river flows from Quesnel Lake, which is one of the deepest freshwater lakes in the world. And I lived beside the Quesnel River for many years and just moved a year or so ago away. And yeah, that's, I love the Quesnel River, so I call her in. And I pass to Naomi.
I think we lost her.
Oh,
Yeah, she was right here. All right, beautiful. She might come back. So let's just take a moment and just see, hear, feel, remember the names of the bodies of water who have been called in, the names of the human water bodies who have brought themselves here. And just see, hear, sense, feel, breathe into the field of energy that has been created by our water bodies. Our heart bond, our love for the bodies of water we've called in. Beloved sacred beings of the water field, thank you for coming forth to be with us here today on this very, very historic weekend in the realm of Earth's new Earth. We ask for your help in helping us to flow and to feel, to listen and to play, to imagine and remember, to dissolve and relate, to restore, to embody. Help us to see and hear, feel and touch, know our sacred relationship with you inside of our bodies, as well as we know and love you who live outside of our bodies. You who flow, you who pool, you who fall and nourish. Thank you to each of you, those who live in the clouds and move. We welcome you in all your forms and the medicine that you carry. As it applies to each one of us, thank you for making that medicine clear in words if you can, but images and sensations, emotional feelings are welcome as well. I'd like to offer a song. It's called Water Calling Me Home, calling us home. So I welcome you to sing with me inside your own space, just helping to activate your vibration of love for all waters inside and out.
Oh, water, calling me home. 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 Oh, water, calling Water is calling us home to our hearts. Water is calling. Water is calling us home. Home to our hearts. Thank you, beloved, for calling us home.
So, the reason we're here today is I encountered a citizen's document last summer in 2020 called the World Water Law. How many people have read the World Water Law on the website? Some of it. Beautiful. Thanks, Carolyn. Okay. So the World Water Law is a citizen's document calling for the uncompromising protection of all waters on Earth. And it sounds like this. So I'd like you to imagine, if you will, this is a reality, even as I read it. We, citizens of Earth, call for and commit to working together to ensure that a binding international law is put in place for the immediate and universal protection of all water as the first vital step towards global cooperation for effective, worldwide social and ecological healing. The World Water Law requires the uncompromising protection and restoration of all natural water sources, watersheds, aquifers, rivers, lakes, wetlands, estuaries, and oceans. The rewilding of ecosystems necessary for the restoration of the planetary water cycle, and the guaranteed free access of all humans and animals to natural, uncontaminated water. The World Water Law holds all governments, corporations, communities, and individuals fully accountable for their impact on all waters everywhere. This one law serves as a unifying foundation for all governments and citizens to work together with community-led wisdom and stewardship councils in ways that effectively serve the health and vitality of the whole. This global initiative honors the many water guardians around the world who have dedicated their lives to the protection and reverence of water on behalf of all life. So as you can hear, this is a document that is inviting us to unite behind it. And although we can sign it, we can place it on our websites, and we can co-create processes like the one I am to help promote it. For me, I realize that the power of the World Water Law is not in the document itself, it's inside each of us. Because inside of us, we also, like the rivers and lakes, we are water bodies also. And inside of our water is a wisdom or an ethic that can guide us individually as to how we behave on an earth that honors water as its first principle. So when I first read the Water Law, being an embodiment artist and a movement artist, my first question was, how can we embody the water law? And what if the World Water Law walks around in us? one of my friends who was part of the original inception of this process, she said, I would rather live in a world where we live from the waters inside of us, rather than have to have a law that compels us to behave in a certain way from the outside. And I agree. I'm sure everyone here, you also are sovereign beings who feel confident to know how to be and how to act in a good way with your nature relatives. What this I am a water body process seems to be doing, it seems to be inviting us into a deeper relationship with the waters inside our own body. As I know, many of us have been working with the waters outside. And so now we're seeing the time is to match that commitment and to turn that love that we have for our outer waters of body, to turn that inside. So that as water beings, we also are radiating with that love and presence and that right knowing of when to act and when to speak up and when to work together. So my intention with the Eco Lab is that ultimately what happens is that this magical doorway between the waters inside of us and the waters who live outside of us, that doorway is opened. And so that communication and connection between ourselves and between our rivers and lakes and streams and oceans, that communication is available to all beings. So we can be in consultation with our local rivers and our local waters and our puddles. When we walk along our land, we can receive whatever the medicine or the voice is of the puddle as it moves along. So I'd like to say that when I heard the question, how do we embody it? And what if it walks around in us? The next thing is I was given a series of statements that I'm calling water mantras, but you could call them embodiment statements. You could call them anything you like, really. But I was given a series of 5 statements. And these are what we are going to explore today, or you will explore inside your own body. And so like mantras, these words, the frequency or the medicine of it is encoded in the words themselves. So we don't necessarily even need to understand the words. We're going to drop those words into our being and let them vibrate and let the waters inside of us show us what they wish in response to the vibration that's in the words. So the mantras, I'm going to give them to you now, and I'm going to invite you to write them in block capital letters, 1 water mantra on each piece of paper. So you'll need 6 in total, 6 pieces of paper. And then if you've got pens or markers, whatever you like to write with when you're scribing your insights. And I'm inviting you to write them in block capital letters simply because this distinguishes those words from everyday language. I work with something called decrees, which are statements spoken with conviction and authority. So when I write these statements, I recognize them more as commands rather than queries or everyday language. So the first one that you'll put on top of your page is, I am water. I am water. The second one is, I am a water body. I am a water body. The third one is, and this, if you like, you can put parentheses around the word imagine. Imagine. I live in a world built on water ethics. I live in a world built on water ethics. I live in a world built on water ethics. Next one, also in imagine, but water ethics walk around in me. Water ethics walk around in me. And again, just letting go of any meaning that your brain might want to make with it. Because your body and your waters will know exactly what to do with these. And then the last one is, I am water ethics. I am water ethics. So has everybody got those? Yes? Okay. Beautiful. So I want to just check with you. The word ethics, is it a word that feels, I could say feels loaded or feels fat? You have a lot of ideas about what that means? Or does it feel fairly neutral for you?
To me, it feels a little bit loaded because
Okay.
it can be very different what people mean with it. So it's not a word that's neutral to me, because when somebody says ethical, you never know what they actually mean until you get deeper into conversation with them.
Beautiful. Okay. So thank you. That was really, so I'm going to speak to you about this word. So originally when I was given these statements, I thought the word was going to be law. Oh, sorry, Pamela, did you want to say something?
Yeah, nowadays when I hear the word ethics, I'm remembering a talk I heard by Zach Bush where he compared ethics and integrity. And he said ethics is internal and integrity is internal. And he said because ethics is external, it can be manipulated, whereas integrity is internal, so it cannot be manipulated. So I'm remembering it. I haven't necessarily decided what I believe in it about it, but it keeps coming back to me.
Good, good. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just gonna say I prefer the word integrity. Like when I feel into ethics, and ethics sort of still feels like it's connected to law, whereas integrity feels better. And could you repeat number 4, please?
Yes. Water ethics, or you can, like, I invite you to write it down as that. And when you do your exploration, you can substitute that word absolutely for integrity. Absolutely. So water ethics walk around in me. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. So there's two things that can happen here. I'll explain to you why this. So here's two choices. One, absolutely, I'm going to tell you, and when we get to how we're going to the exploration is going to go, that my suggestions are things that are just suggestions. So you can adapt them, you can ignore them completely in favor of the way your water guides you to be. Okay. So if you're someone for whom that word is not so loaded, or you're willing to drop what you think you know about it, I want to just share very, very briefly that I was part of a constellation as a project in Canada called the Spirit of Canada Project. And it's Kara and Pamela and I are both involved in this project. And I was representing, just a second, I'm just going to check in. 1 second. I'm getting yes to tell you this. Okay, I just checked in with the water field. So we were doing a constellation. Are you familiar with what systemic constellation is? Work? Yes. Okay. So in this, I believe we were exploring what was the central question that was going to form this project, these dialogues called the Spirit of Canada Dialogues. In any case, there was a moment in which I was representing Mother Earth and the water and the trees and the beings of nature in Canada. And there was some conversation going on about this question, what breaks your heart open? And I was guided clearly to move from nature to go and stand on the indigenous people's piece of paper, right? To go and step in their place. And as the conversation was going on, I was feeling, anger was rising for me. And what was going on in the constellation was important, and I didn't want to interrupt it, but I needed to manage what was going on for me personally. And I wanted to honor what was rising in me as an Indigenous Canadian person. And so I looked across the circle and I saw the word ethics. And I walked over and I stood on that piece of paper. And the moment I stood on ethics, this incredible fire that was rising out of me immediately stopped. And then there was another piece of paper that was closer to the central question. And I felt called to go there. And this was also at a time in which the conversation that was going on around this question was, what breaks your heart open, Canada? And I stepped a few steps closer to that question. And then all of a sudden I was feeling a lot of fresh energy and a lot of excitement. And it was like this. I felt new and I felt juicy and I felt like something was percolating, something wanted to come through. So this word for me doesn't have a lot of dialogue around it to begin with. But what we started to recognize is that potentially in the realm of ethics, there is something that needs to be reborn or wants to be heard around this word, so that instead of it being something that that we are at cross purposes with, it is a word that we might get to explore together in relation to nature and to each other. So I only offer that as an opportunity to either let your waters show you what ethics are, not what our brain thinks, but what do your waters think that ethics are? That's one option. The other option is that, of course, you substitute that word for one that feels more aligned for you. So it's entirely up to you. I just wanted to offer that possibility that word itself is something that may be up for revision in our society. And as someone reminded me, we're in the creation of a new earth and a new world. And so with that comes a new language. Again, possibilities. So just to complete our setting the context for our inquiry, I would like to say that what we are doing here is an open personal exploration. It's completely open, okay? And it's emergent and it's co-creative. So even though you're going to be exploring inside your own room, in your own home, because we're connected through the water field, we will be feeling and influencing each other. I would like to acknowledge that you, along with water beings, are sovereign. And you have your own source connection and your own body signals. So you have your own self-authority and you are invited to follow the guidance of your own body and the waters inside. As I already said, my offerings are suggestions. Feel free to adapt them or ignore them completely. And then the last thing I want to say is that at this moment in time, I really feel like one of our superpowers as human beings is our ability to embody, to have an experience inside our own bodies, because our body gives us signals that are very authentic. And we know right away if something doesn't, thanks, Caroline, if something doesn't feel right. And I think that it's time that we are starting to respond that quickly when we're in conversations with others or we're engaging, even on the street, in really casual ways. The other superpower we're calling on here is our power to listen and to imagine, and of course, to feel and to speak. You'll be invited to repeat these mantras as many times as you like when you're exploring them. And just trust that as you keep dropping it into yourself, your body gets an opportunity to respond. So I'd like to talk just a tiny bit about water itself in your body. to help refresh your own mind, heart for knowing where your water is and what it does for you. Again, because you'll be exploring on your own. This just gives your brain some recall, some refreshment. So first of all, your relationship with water is your own and sacred. It's not the same for each of us. It's absolutely unique. But some of the things that we can agree on is that water is alive, it's sentient, it's intelligent, and it can communicate with us. And in my case, since I bonded with so many bodies of water on our earth, I know that it's possible for us to partner with it and to have relationships in this way. So a couple of the facts about our physical waters. So as adults, our percentage of water is approximately 60 to 70%. And again, these are all approximate. You might have other percentages that mean more to you. So please, substitute any language that I have. So 2/3 of the waters is inside our cells and 1/3 is between our cells and in blood. Our lungs have the most percentage of water, so 90+% of water. Our blood and our skin are both approximately 80% water. Our heart, our brain and muscle, approximately 70+% water. And then our bones are anywhere from 20% and up in terms of water. So what does water do for us? It converts food for digestion. It activates peristalsis and flushes body waste. It delivers oxygen all over our body and regulates temperature. It keeps mucosal membranes moist and it lubricates our joints. It allows cells to grow and reproduce and survive. And our brain manufactures hormones and neurotransmitters with the water that's there. And then, of course, water is the shock absorber for our brain and for our spinal cord. So you probably have more information than this about water in your body. This is just a touchstone for your inquiry. So what I'd like to do is take a couple of minutes and invite you to, if you need a bio break, and also attend to your space. So some people like to lie down when they go for this journey. Other people like to move or do both. So looking at your space, and if it's set up for you to do any one of those things easily, you're going to want to have your papers with you and your crayons and your markers. So you want to have them close to where your exploration space is going to be. And so what I'm going to invite you to do is take a few minutes, look at your setup if you want to use the bathroom, etc. When you come back, we're going to do an embodiment movement thing to get into your bodies. And then you'll take your opening position and we'll begin with the first mantra. Okay, so just a couple of minutes and we'll proceed. Beautiful. So can everybody hear me? Yes? Good. All right. So I invite you to just begin to drop into your body. Listening to how it might want to move or stretch. We're still waiting for a few people to come back on screen, but it's a good time to just sort of bring your awareness into your body. That was a bit of information and words and talking. And so, I always hear this phrase when we're on Zoom for a lot. It's like, step away from the screen. Step away. So just, yeah, however you're feeling called to. And also just letting your voice and sighs be part of whether it's hip circles or knee circles. Flow, body, mind. Flow, body, mind. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, breathing. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit. Feel free to sound that. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, breathing. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, breathing. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, listening. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, dreaming. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, dreaming. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, dreaming. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, listening. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, breathing. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, dreaming. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, listening. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, dreaming. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, dreaming. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, breathing. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, dreaming. Flow, body, mind. voice spirit, listening. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, dreaming. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, dreaming. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, healing. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, healing. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, dreaming. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, dreaming. Flow, body, mind. Flow, body, mind. Voice, spirit, dreaming. Flow, body, mind, voice, spirit, listening. So now I invite you to move to wherever you have your papers and your markers and your pens, where you're going to explore. And I really invite you to listen to what is the position that my body wants to be in. To begin, you might, for this first one, you might like to be more still. And subsequent ones, you might want to be getting up and moving. It's just however that mantra affects you. You will be off screen. I mean, you can leave your screen open if you're below sight line, that's absolutely fine. You will be muted. And how this will work is I will feed you the mantra, although you also have it on your page. And then I'm going to set a timer for approximately 6 minutes or so, 6-7 minutes. And so you will have an opportunity to explore those words in your body. In your body. As I say, some of them will encourage you to move, and others will encourage you to be more still. It's up to you. Part of this is listening to how these words, the frequency of the words, affect your body. Hi, Crystalline. So do you have pieces of paper? You'll need 6 pieces of paper, and you're going to put a mantra on top of each one. And so how this will work is I will set the timer for 6 minutes or so. Then what you'll hear is you will hear a bell, this sound. I'll invite, that's the signal to bring your exploration to a close. And then I invite you to go from there to your papers, and you'll get a bit of time to scribe. And I also want to mention that you're really welcome to scribe as you go along. That's what I do. I get an idea, I get an image, I roll over if I'm on the ground, I write it on the paper and roll back and go back in. But you can also explore all the way through and then you scribe at the end because you'll get some time to do that as well. Okay, so first will be the ding, then you go to your paper to scribe, and then when you hear the rattle, then you're finishing your scribing and you go back to your neutral position to explore the next mantra. So for those of you who've just joined, if you want to put on block capital letters on a piece of paper, first one is I am water, and I'll put them in the chat too. I am water. The next one is I am a water body. And the next one is I live in a world built on water ethics. And then water ethics walk around in me. I am water ethics. So I will give you each of those. If you've just joined, that's fine. I will feed them to you, but they are in the chat as well. Okay. All right. Looks like everybody's ready to begin. Beautiful. So you might want to move, Crystalline, you might want to move with them. You might want to be in meditation, and feel free to scribe as you go along. So the intention is that the waters in your body are going to be the ones who are informing your responses. Okay. So just closing your eyes and settling yourself. Let your awareness drop like a stone in water. Allowing your breath to slow you down and bring you into your deeper water awareness inside your body. Breathing and feeling. Opening all of your senses. So that you're listening on all levels of your being. And so preparing for the first mantra, I am water. I am water. I am water. And beginning to scribe your discoveries, or even thoughts around what is my nature as water. So preparing to begin to explore the next mantra. And again, letting it inform you. Some are more active than others. I am a water body. I am a water body. I am a water body. beginning to scribe and record. What kind of water body am I? What kind of water body am I? And preparing for the next mantra. Imagine, imagine I live in a world built on water ethics. I live in a world built on water integrity. I live in a world built on water ethics. Explore your world. What kind of a world is this? How is it different than the one you know? What do you see, hear, feel, know? Imagine. Water ethics walk around in me. Imagine. Water ethics walk around in me. Imagine. Water ethics walk around in me. And the final mantra, the final doorway, I am water ethics. I am water ethics. I am water ethics. So just finishing up your scribing, and then I invite you to get up, stretch, move, change position before you go into your review of your experience and the share. And take a drink of water. Bring some of that precious life force in to meet the waters inside. So I invite you, when you come back to your papers, to have a look at them. So spread them out 1 through 5, and you've got a 6th piece of paper that's blank. So I invite you to just review, look. If you still want to scribe or draw or move with what you see, that's fabulous too. And there's a accumulating question. And the question is, what are my water ethics urging me to do or be? What are my water ethics? And again, substitute any words you like: urging me, guiding me, pointing, showing me, to be or to do, or both. And that's what you put on the 6th paper. Anything that comes from that. And I also invite you that if you got direct messages from water, put those on that 6th paper as well, because we'll share those in the chat. I'll give 5 minutes here. If you're ready, and if you have a message that you got directly from water, if you don't mind putting that in the chat just while we're waiting for people to finish up, we've got another 30 seconds. I hear you. So many messages. Totally. What ones do you feel called to, like, that might be, I don't know, universal, or you'll also have a chance to share. And just so you know, there's a Google document. So it's a harvest document. And we have been capturing full expressions of our responses to each of the doorways or each of the mantras. And it's lovely. It's a public document, and you can read what other people have encountered. So yes, please bring yourself back to the screen. And beautiful. So before we begin the share, I want to take a moment here to really acknowledge our water beings who've been holding space for us. So I'm just going to address them directly and offer my thanks, and we're going to release our attention to them. And if any one of you want to mention a special thanks out loud, you're welcome to unmute and before we release them. So beloveds who have been with us through this journey, there was a great deal of water presence beyond those whom we called in, and we thank you for providing such an expansive and deep space of inquiry today. The energy in this water field that we have created together, along with all the other beings who are in their water essence and their water field, in the other Zoom rooms connected with this one, in the spring equinox celebrations around the world, the other World Water Day things happening. There's a great, great, great water presence. So we acknowledge the lightness of your love and the depth and the expansiveness of how ancient you are and how amorphous you live. So I thank you. And I suspect that we will gather again very, very soon, if not tomorrow, with such vastness. Thank you, beloveds. Anyone else wish to honor in particular or out loud?
Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful water spirit with us through this beautiful way. And it was so, I could feel it so well, and I got so many messages, and yeah, thank you. This was really, really valuable. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the water beings before we release them, and then we'll share? All right. So thank you, beloveds. We release our attention with you, and we wish you well, and may your next encounters with humans be filled with joy and respect and love. Until next time. All right, my friends. So you are welcome to share your answer to the question, what are my water ethics, or however you framed it for yourself, urging me to do or be. And if that question is not so alive in you, but there was something that was huge for you in one of those doorways, discovery, insight, aha, image, then please choose that. And as I say, rest assured, I'm going to give you the link for the Google document, and I invite you to record fully when you feel called to. So who would like to go first? And
Yeah, I had so many, so I'll just wait until the end, because I could, you know, so that if people have to leave, they can leave, but I have a lot. So I'll just wait.
For me, the main message was to really feel the peace and the flow of the water and let it be expansive within me. So it's really about how to be from within, and that affects those around, but of course not to change anybody around. That's
Hi. I just want to talk a bit about my process. I came. For us, it's autumn equinox, so we're going into the winter here, and it's kind of for me a time of kind of going into darkness, and I came in here this morning with a very heavy heart and a lot of grief and sadness, and I was really trying to find access through movement, and then I lay down, tried to lying down, and then I tried drawing, and nothing felt right. And then I took my medicine drum that I made myself down, and I just went like creativity. I just had this message: just create, just sing. And these two incredible songs just poured through me with the drum, and that was my access. And then the top thing I wrote was to create with love, which is what I put in the messages, and that was really, that's my access to my water, is my voice and my creativity. I wrote to create with love, to come from within, to do ceremony with water, to draw from my own well, to naturalize and find my own words for the water law, to really be in my own water body, to listen to my own tides, to give gratitude for water, and to heal and feel my own water.
I would love to hear that song. If it was really, is it a song that you like got through, or it
Yeah,
just is like,
would,
like
yes,
urging you to create it, or do you have the song now? I mean, I would love to hear it.
it was really just a flow of words, but I did switch my recorder on my iPhone, and I did record. There was two. There was an I am water, and the second one, I'm a water boat. Oh yeah, the water ethics one. Both are recorded, just flowing the words through me, and I'm happy to share them. But it's not a complete song. It's just a flow of words and messages coming through me with the drums. So I'm happy to share them in the chat if people want to.
Yes, and up in the Harvest doc, like in the folder, I think you can put MP3s. So if you wanted to upload that into the folder, then we could hear it as it was in that raw state.
Sure. And
Which folder? How do we get there?
I will show you. Yeah, there's a link to the Google document. It's a Google Doc. Yeah.
okay, I'll put it in there. And
Okay.
I found when I got to the I am water ethics, the message was just, you're not ready for that one. I couldn't really feel what it was within me. It was like just I didn't have words for that.
Thank you so much. Who else?
I'm gonna flow after that, because that really resonated with me. I found it like I would be quite interested in embodiment. I found it really hard to be in my body, and by the second one, I was like, I should stop and I should ping Danielea and say, this isn't happening. And actually, I had this weird thing where the words I am is in Irish, it's Misha. And that's been coming up quite a lot for me recently. Like for about a month, there's been work around that. And I am a good Irish speaker, but the word for water is Ishka. And mine was, I was demanded that I know these words, the mantras in Irish. And like I was like, this is really interesting. But so this is one of the pieces I want to share is imagine water ethics walk around in me. That was quite a powerful one for me because so I sat with the word ethics and I thought there was a good discussion around that word, and integrity is a word I live with. It's one of my practicing principles. So, and the word sovereignty. So I sat with all of them in English, looked for them in Irish, but the spring equinox in Ireland is known as, in old Celtic times, is known as the Festival of Promise. And that seemed to really resonate. Connacht na Airnacht. And it really resonated. And at some point I looked for poems as well. And there's one called that I've known and lived with for years. But anyway, I'm really conscious of time, Danielea, but this poem is, I feel really compelled to read it. It's by a wonderful Irish poet called John O'Donoghue, and it's called Fluent. And it says, I would love to live like a river flows, carried by the surprise of its own unfolding. And I have a poetry book by this poet and mystic, John O'Donoghue. And I've had that page of that poem bookmarked for maybe 7 or 8 years. And it's a really joyful little poem that occasionally I go to and I read, and it just, you know, it had that giddy energy. The second mantra, actually, the energy really changed when you said it. It was kind of giddy. So yeah, the Festival of Promise, and there was quite a few things. So there was also something, Danielea, when you asked us to say thank you to the water bodies, something significant came in for around the water edges and the places where water meets other water bodies and the edges. So there's a lot more biodiversity and pollution at these edges. So I was really struck by me as a water body means I have to be an activist for my own body. And if I'm going to respect all water and you know, want to live in that first imagination of the world thriving without pollution, in the water bodies where we live, with the water bodies where they're respected, where they're not treated as drains. If we're going to live in that, then I have to start by respecting my own body and be the activist for the water inside my own body as well as in the world. And I was really called to say my page. This probably won't work because I'm on. Right. So this won't work because I'm on. Anyway. I was asked, so I have like little spirals for each of showing me what to do. So it was practice respect of my own body and local and global water bodies, activism through art, images, photography, and the beauty of our interconnected world. And I got a real clear love water, hold space for it in its purity, hold space for its life-giving properties. Which is this, it's what you're doing and I love it. And thank you for the invitation to it. And live in a sacred relationship with water bodies. And then the one that I shared in the chat was love, live, share the promise of water. And that feels really connected to the Irish, the Celtic Ismisha Ishka. And it feels like the promise of water is there's something very activating in that for me at the moment. So thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. And just know that you can put images up in the Google Doc, you can take pictures of your stuff, and you'll see some awesome stuff up there already. So yes, so thank you. Thank you. Crystalline and Helen, and then Caroline.
Hi. So as I started to step into this, these meditations and these ideas, that often things come to me in just the most simple words, like I always go for kind of the pithy instructions. So just the word of reverence and the word of respect and honor. Those came up for me, and they to me are teachings in themselves, like to unpack. So just the word of reverence, honor, like this. And I was just in Peru, and in Peru there's so many temples to water itself. Like there's so much reverence to water, and the way that they honor it, and they've kept it clean in a lot of places, especially coming from the Inca tradition. And so coming from that culture and just being exposed to the type of reverence and all the structures, like megalithic, like huge structures built just for water, coming out of the mountains, and the apus, and reverence for that. And yeah, there was like a reverence for the femininity of it, because like the apus or the mountains are the masculine, and the feminine was the water. And so yeah, just having that simplicity of those words, and then the reverence to be expansive and encompassing, like Pachamama or Alpa Mama. This is like the universal mama. So that's yeah, that was my experience.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to say that when you said those words, it's kind of like even those doorways, the mantras, they're just ordinary words, but when we talk about unpacking the word reverence, it's like, oh my gosh, we could do a whole movement piece, get shown so much more about what that is, right? When we come from that place of not knowing. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. Helen.
I think as I was moving through this, the beginning part was really about honoring my body and the water in my body. And I felt really held by water. I was kind of in this, felt like seaweed in the ocean, where I was being really held, and then the waves were coming in and just moving me, and I was just going with the flow, but also being really held. So that was really beautiful. And then as I was walking, the water walking around in me, or the water ethic, or the water ethics piece, I appreciated that conversation about the integrity and the ethics and the inner and outer. So it really felt strong around honoring the waters inside, and aligning that with what I saw on the outside. And then the very last one, coming back to I am water ethics. Actually, the water law came back to me, and the wording around, I don't know, I'll have to read it again because it's kind of, but the uncompromising protection of the water in my body and the water outside. And I had this, I don't know, something about, there's no ownership, no borders between nations, like the lines need to dissolve and the water connects us all, and there's this openness. And then I got this message about, I need to hold this, I need to be this inside, this dissolving of the lines, of the borders, of the ownership, of the whatever those pieces are. So that's what I got at the end. So yeah, lots more unpacking for me as well, I think. But yeah, thank you.
Wow, I think you got tasked. Beautiful. Caroline.
Wow, Helen, I resonate so much with that, and it's super similar to the message that I got. So it's like a big confirmation for me that that's really like, yeah, that's really an important thing, because it wasn't just me getting that message. So at the I am water part, I started basically twisting my body as far as I could, first my entire body. So I was just laying on the floor, and then I suddenly remembered that one time in a mushroom ceremony with a psychedelic mushroom, I actually got that message as well. And I actually asked a friend of mine, I was holding myself to something, and I asked him to like twist me, because it charged my body somehow. It was like a recharging thing. So I just did that again. And I also did it with my hands. So I turned them like this. And as I did that, I felt like the vitalization happening. And I was like, oh my God, I can recharge my body like this. So I was just laying on the ground, twisting open my arms, having my pinkies on the floor outside of me again, but then, the other way around. And that felt so incredibly like recharging. And yeah, so that was a big like lesson, like, oh yeah, that's actually a thing. You can charge yourself with that twisting. And then with I'm a water body, I could feel the containment of the flow. I wrote some things. There was like this polarity, friction, sexuality, but also pain in the polarity, because the containment of the water, so it was like the containment is like the matter, the rocks in the river, but also the stuff that I can touch, and my body. And the feminine is the water, it's the flow that's in between there. And there's like this polarity happening there that creates all these types of friction and all these types of also sexuality and creation, and it also reflects each other. It's a mutual reflection. So it's like the flow is reflected in the containment, and the shape of the containment is reflected in the flow. So that was a really beautiful, one. And I live in a world built on water ethics. I could feel the one water being as like one spirit. So it's not, I didn't feel like different water beings there. I could just feel like this is actually like, if you look at animism, this is just like one being, you know, it's like it has a personality or whatever. It's like, oh, it's water, you know, it's like you know, just like, oh, that's Pete and that's the water. And so that all living water is one being, and dead water actually like belongs to that being, so it wants to just be reconnected. So that's what I got from that, is I could see, like, when I felt like I live in a world built on water ethics, I could see the dead water just like being reconnected to the living water. And also I got the message that water is essentially deathless. Spirit always returns easily. It is one soul or being. Yeah. And also that the living spirit of water is a known and recognized being that was in that world. The spirit of water is a known and recognized being. That means that humans are communicating with her consciously, and also other beings are communicating with her consciously. And then the water ethics walk around in me kind of confused me, because it was like, it walks around in me, like I couldn't really follow. So then I rewrote the sentence and I said, I'm built on water ethics. And then I remembered how I had this like little thing on my eye, like a sty thing, the day before yesterday. And in the night I dreamt to make a compress of my source water, you know, from this bottle, and to just put that on my eye, and it healed because of that. So when I felt like I'm built on water ethics, that was actually the practice of that, was reconnecting a dead piece of water to a living piece of water, just having it resonate together for a while, and then it would just, you know, become alive. So healing the body by reviving and reconnecting the living water of the body, like I did with the eye. And then, so yeah, it was a whole big download. And then I am water ethics. It was kind of hard to get into, and suddenly I saw these, like I felt all this itchiness coming up in my body and pain. And first I was like, no, I want to, you know, focus on I am water ethics. So like try not to focus on the pain. And then I realized like, no, but actually the pain is the water ethics, you know, like just see what's coming up and just, you know, and the itch and where's it coming up. And then I like tuned into that a little bit more. And then I wrote down, I am at the edges of that which is dead / numb, to show where to look. The dead is always deeper than the itch, pain, or discomfort. It's the border. So the water ethics is actually here to direct attention to what fell out of connection. So it's the water ethics in my body was like showing, you know, like I wrote, I drew it like the, you know, the blue place where there's no space in between is like something that's kind of died and there's no, you know, it's not living. And then at the edge of that is the water ethics, which is something that hurts or is like uncomfortable or itchiness or something. And outside of that, the water is living. So it's actually asking to go into that. That's what the water ethics is doing. And then now I'm at the last part. Sorry for my really long sharing. But yeah, it felt like worth sharing. What are my water ethics asking me to do? Reconnect dead waters to living water, obviously, and practicing by, for instance, bathing an apple in a splash of spring water. And also heal with living water, just like I did with the eye, and practice on myself, heal myself with itchiness first, because I have it a lot, like restless legs, all this kind of stuff. And see if I can heal myself of all the itches and little pains and all the stuff like that with living water. And then if I manage to do that, I can share my practice with others, and I can also like sprinkle living water around wherever I feel like on earth. that is oh, battery almost died. Yeah, where that is wanted. So just to practice that more and to really like, yeah, put that into action. What I experience now. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Mm. Whoo, let's just take a few breaths and breathe and move with all of what has flowed. And I won't share now, but I will put up in the document. So Caroline, I really, photos of what you did and all of that, if you don't mind putting it up there, and each of you, I mean, this is harvest. This is harvest for all of us, right? So that's hello, Liliana. She's our witness. You're our witness, water body. We just did a journey inside with the waters. So blessed be to each of you. This room, the webinar is going to start at 4 o'clock. So that's in 15 minutes. Jen Isabel is this amazing water person who distills information. It's quite a departure from what we've just done. So that's one of the reasons if you wanted to watch that, I think that it's good to have a break, like go outside and, do something different if you're wanting to come back for that. And then my friend Melissa is leading a dance wave at 5:45. I know it's too late for you European folk, but that would be, it's like 11:45. If it's 4:45 our time. Yeah, it's definitely 1:30 in the morning or something. So anyways, but dance wave in our body. She's awesome. So please join us for that one. So what I want to do for the closing. So number one, the Google Doc is in the chat. Grab that now if you'd like to copy that. And if you go down to page 8, you're going to see a yellow line that says March 20th. And then the instructions are you put your name, you put the date of the Eco Lab. Please put the names of the bodies of water you called in, please. That's the way that we honor the water relatives who supported us. And then over in the square box, I mean, you can put each of your doorways, just as Caroline has shared. You could just put an image, an aha. You can be as full as you like or as brief as you like. And the main instructions are at the very top. So just know it's a public document and anyone can look at it. So that's the second thing. And I really invite it and welcome, because this is an ongoing research project. We're learning from the waters inside. And as you can see, people are getting really clear instructions about what their roles are or what pieces they're meant to carry. The other thing I want to say to you, hi little dude, is that there is a global research group that is gathering. And this Tuesday morning, March 23rd at 8 a.m., from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I will send you this information, but just to put in your mind, if you're interested in continuing to explore this, you're feeling it's part of your call, I'm looking at creating a group on the World Water Community platform that's going to be embodied water researchers. So we're following our curiosity, we're following our path, and I'm going to bring other movement people into it. So this is a group that's growing, but we're very specifically interested in embodied water and that relationship with our water inside and the water outside. So it's a very, those of us who are into it, we're really into it, but not everybody is, but we're gathering the people who are. So I will send you that information, but that's Tuesday morning, and I'll send you the Zoom. Usually I close with a thank you water song, and I would still like to do that. I'm just going to check the chat. Oh yes, there she is. Go ahead, Mukti. Yes, please.
So if it's a public document, like for example, I can upload the chants that came through, but I don't want them downloaded by anyone I've shared, because they're not a song that's ready to be published or whatever. So if it's a public document, how do we protect what we put in there?
Yes. What I could do is, because I'm going to send an email and I have everybody's email. I'm pretty sure everybody's here who I've already met previously. So you could share that. You could share the MP3s in the as a return to the email in the group and not put them up there. That's what I would suggest.
Okay.
And then you just say, I'm sharing with you as part of our harvest, but please do not share beyond your own ears. Would that feel comfortable? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, good call. Good call.
Hey,
Any?
before you do your closing song, I just wanted to acknowledge and thank you all for somehow, by the grace of God, tuning into this moment with you all. Hi, Hi Dai had reached out to me to learn more about Kangen water, and I am working with Kangen water, and he happened to just send this to me right as you're doing this, and so I jumped on. I wanted to just share that, obviously there was a meditation or some sort of question and answer, but as people were sharing their experience, I was getting all these downloads in my body and all these activations. And I just wanted to acknowledge that, because I feel like we are a collective consciousness, and we're growing in this process together to reclaim and reestablish our connection to our inner waters, and ultimately how water plays the largest role in our existence on Earth and within the universe. And it's just such an endless and beautiful process to learn about. And so I just wanted to thank all of you for receiving me into your group, and thank you for your downloads.
Liliana, where are you from, or where are you in space right now?
I am in Maui in Hawaii, and I'm actually going to be flying to the Big Island tomorrow. And I'm somewhat of a birth worker. I work with women, and like as a doula, and I have learned so much more about my own relationship to water through being a Kangen water distributor, and just connected with some of the most amazing people on earth because of it. And it's just one avenue of a greater collective magical reclamation process. There's many different ways, and Jen Isabel is incredible, and I'm really excited to hear her.
Yes, so it's going to be a webinar for the first 70 minutes, and then she'll join us live for a Q&A after. Liliana, if you wanted to put your email in the chat, we can, if the downloads you talked about are something that you want to share in the Google Doc, or if you're interested in the Embodied Water Research Group, then put your email in the chat.
Absolutely, yes, for sure.
Yeah. Hello, there she is. Woohoo. Okay, we're just going to close here. So we're going to close with the Thank You Water song. And this is the title track off my CD. It was just called Thank You Water. You can listen to it on Bandcamp, and all of those all the music comes from these ceremonial interactions with different bodies of water. So this is a simple one that you can sing it in different languages. So we'll sing it in English first, and then I'll show you how you can substitute it into another language. So feel free to sing on your own in your rooms as we just give thanks for this incredibly rich time together. Oh, thank you, water, thank you for my life. Oh, thank you, water, thank you for my life. Oh, thank you, water, thank you for my life. Oh, thank you, water, thank you for my life. One more time in English. Oh, thank you, water, thank you for my life. Oh, thank you, water, thank you for my life. Oh, thank you, water. Thank you for my life. So we recorded this in China when I worked there. And in Chinese, thank you water is 谢谢你水. 谢谢 is thank you and 水 is water. Oh, 谢谢你水，谢谢你水。哦，谢谢你水，谢谢你水。哦，谢谢你水，谢谢你水。哦，谢谢你水，谢谢你水。Spanish, gracias agua. Oh, gracias agua, gracias agua. Oh, gracias agua, gracias agua. Oh, gracias agua, gracias agua. Oh, gracias agua. Thank you for my life. So one last time, we're going to sing to water and say thank you for your life. All external bodies of water that are friends and relatives, teachers and guides, the rivers and lakes, the oceans and the streams, the rain, who was a big part of our water field today, and the puddles. Puddles who carry that fun energy, the living invitation to jump in the middle of them and splash. We think we're supposed to grow out of that, but in fact, it's really the water who's making us do that. Oh, thank you, water. Thank you for your life. Oh, thank you, water. Thank you for your lives. Oh, thank you, water. Thank you for your lives. Oh, rivers and lakes and streams, ocean, ice, glacier, mist, vapor, snow. Thank you for your life. We love you, water, outside and in. Woohoo! Thank you, water bodies. So we'll be in touch. I'll send you that email about the research group and Google Doc. Please share your harvest with us, and by all means, read what others have experienced as well. So, bye.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome. Bye. Good night, Roisin.
You're good.
You can unmute yourself if you like. Unmute yourself. There we go. Good night. Bye, Lana Oceana. Bye, Carolina. Happy birthday, Carolina.
Thank you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
A great day to do the Eco Lab on your birthday, huh? Whew.
fantastic. What a birthday gift.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Crystalline. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.